All right, let's go with episode 5. So today we're going to talk about the attendance tracker right over here. There is a lot to this one actually. So this video may be a little bit longer, and we're actually going to import attendance data and go through the entire steps that I do because today is Friday. I'm debating whether I'm going to do the grade manager next Friday and do some of these others during the week, or run through an actual grade manager on Monday, even though I typically do it on Friday and do the video on that. But we'll see what happens Monday. So let's go to the attendance tracker. All right, open another window. All right, so let me explain a little bit about our policies. So the school requires students to be here 90% of the time. I personally require students to be here 95% of the time. So you'll see here, anyone who's highlighted in red is below the school policy, meaning that I need to talk to them, encourage them to get above 90%. This TED tester is just a test account. That's not even a real student. The ones that are in yellow are above the school's required 90%, but below my 95%. So 93, 94, 91. And anyone in green is above the 95% that I require. So let's go ahead and import the data that I exported from Focus to run the report for today. So what this is telling me is it's going to check the data versus the data that I'm importing versus the database that I have in here. And I have some students that have graduated, so they are no longer in Focus. They no longer have any data in attendance data. So it's asking me, do I want to archive these students or make them inactive? So they're no longer on this sheet here. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now you'll see it shrunk some because 4 students are off of it now. Still have the 3 students in the red, or the 1 test student, a couple in yellow. Now I can drill down on each of these students. Let's say I want to see where Victoria is at right now. She's at 94%. So I can see all of the reports that I've put in here. This one that I just did on 123, it tells me that she was at 93.41 on the last report, 94.0. So she is trending upwards. She is moving towards that 95%. Let's look at someone who's below. Let's say Seth. Seth was at 88.62, and this time he's at 89.64. So he is also trending upwards. I built in this, it's called the goal calculator. Will basically tell me what this student has to do to get the 90%. Or I could put it to 95 if I want to find out somebody who's in yellow what they need to do to get to 95%. We're in school 5 hours a day. So this is going to tell me that for Seth to reach the 90%, he needs 18.3 hours more of perfect attendance at 5 hours a day. That means he only needs to be in school every day for the next 4 days to hit that 90%. Should be easy. Seth should be able to do that. So if he gets perfect attendance for the next 4 days and then keeps it up after that, because of course he can, miss and then drop below again, he will hit the 90%. So at this point, once I import all the data, it's going to email the students, email each of these students separately. So this one does not use the email program that I showed you in, was that episode 3? Because that email program is for sending to groups. In this one, I want to send private emails to each student. So each of these students in here, I'm not going to go into their section. Under managed students, it has the student name and the email, and it's going to send a report to that email saying where they are, what percentage they're at, how much they gained since last one, and what they need to do to gain 90 or 95%. And also, when I imported it, you saw that we had to archive some students. If I get new students, So in other words, if there's new students on that report that are not already in the database, then it would ask me, do you want to create those student accounts? And then at that point, I would have to go into the manage students and put their emails in to tell it where to send them, because it'll create their name in there, but it doesn't know their email. So I would go and put the email in there, tell it where to send that email. But we'll go ahead and generate those emails. So it tells me that it successfully sent out 18 emails, 18 individual emails. And we'll go in and look at the templates that it sends out. So I created these templates. This is for anyone who's below 90. It's basically telling them what percentage they're at, their percentage, and their attended hours versus their scheduled hours. That's how the percentage was calculated. The progress statement tells them, what I believe that tells them their percentage went up or down. And then down here, it'll tell them the recovery plan, which is for Seth would have been, if you're here for the next 4 days in a row, you can get that 90% minimum. So you can read over this. All the students get this, whether they're in danger or warning would be someone who's below 95 but above 90. It's going to tell them the same information, just formatted in a little bit different way. It's going to tell them their progress statement, whether they're trending up or down, the recovery plan to reach 95%, what they would need to do. And then finally, people who are above 95%, again, this tells them, some of the same information. They don't need a recovery plan, but it does tell them whether they're trending up and down. I mean, they could be 96% today, but were 97% last week. So they would know they're trending downwards and, fix that, or they're going to fall below the 95%. So that's the attendance tracker in a nutshell. It's got quite a bit to it, even though it doesn't really do a lot. Puts out that one report for all students. But there's a lot in it.